Hello, beautiful blessings. My name is Letitia. I am the owner, manager, and only employee of an LLC. It's a ministry. I don't like calling it a business, but it's called Handmade with Heart LLC. This video is about to be very handmade, like the items that I create with my hands and sell, because I really never planned on making a video. I never planned on having a YouTube channel. I pretty much just have my social media, but I'll tell you why I'm doing this in just a second. But first things first, if you see me swatting things or trying to shoo something away, I live in Alabama. I'm not from here, and where I come from, we call them fruit flies or gnats. But here I call them Bama gnats because they are atrocious. They're very bold, and they've gotten into my apartment again. So don't think I'm just insane or something. The reason I'm doing this is because although I've had this LLC licensed a year, I just had my first vendor market last weekend, 7 days ago. And as I was going through the things that I had put in the market and writing down information as far as like what I sold, how much, and taking care of the business part of it, there were some things that I learned. Actually, the whole market, my first one, was a huge learning experience for me, and so there were some things that I just thought I would pass on to other people that are starting out a business, want to start out a business, or are wanting to do vendor markets or craft shows, and you're afraid or you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. Just a couple of pointers, that's all. So hopefully this video will not be very long at all. I try to keep it short, and I really don't like watching videos where people talk a lot, like tutorials and stuff like that. You'll hear my air kicking on and off. But so let's get started. First and foremost, if you want to follow me on Instagram, to see what I'm putting out there, I update Instagram and Facebook the most. But my Instagram, I think you can search me at handmade _ with _ heart, or you can search Ellaraye Heart, ELLARAYE. That's one word, and heart. For my Facebook, it's just the Ellaraye Heart, ELLARAYE, and then heart. And my website, I have a Shopify website. I chose to go with Shopify to post my stuff and sell it. Right now, it's more testimony and blog, ministry, a little bit of what how this all started and stuff like that, how the name was made. It is a faith-based, Christian-based LLC. God, Yahweh dropped this in my spirit. Never in a million years did I think I would be owning or have an LLC, and I never wanted one either. So this is all Him. I believe in Yahweh, our Messiah, Yeshua, and Holy Spirit. So let's get started. Oh, my Shopify. This is my Shopify website if you want to check that out, and how I have that kind of set up. It's really easy. I think it's like $39 a month. And I'm going to give you some information of that I got from Shopify, but it's hmadewithheart.com, HMADEWITHHART.com on Shopify. Okay, so I had my first vendor market last Saturday and Sunday. There's an organization called hometownvendormarket.com, I believe, and they go around, I believe, across the country, hosting vendor markets at the local malls. And they were here last weekend. I'm pretty sure they do it during the warmer months. I think this month they're going to be in Atlanta, if not this weekend. But check them out, because it was very easy to sign up as a vendor. And I'm sure that this was one experience with like a vendor market, and maybe different if I were to do one here at Low Mill or University Pickers or Providence, because this was organization that was hosting it, not the actual mall. So there may be different rules, setups and stuff like that, which this one was definitely a different setup because it was inside. I didn't have to bring out my tent. With that being said, and I said that I don't want to make this too long, I had my first market last Saturday and Sunday. And these were the things that I was really paying attention to. This was more for me to learn and decide if I wanted to do this. And so the first thing right off the bat was pretend there's some pop-ups, because it's not going to be. The first thing was that I noticed in bringing the things inside the mall, there's no telling how far you're going to have to walk with your things in carts or on a dolly from wherever you park to where you're going to be placed. But I was fairly close to the entrance of the mall. But I did realize right off the bat that my cart, I need a bigger cart. So you see the carts that a lot of people have. It's kind of like a wagon. It wasn't that it was tiny or small or anything like that. I actually got mine from Temu, and it's a great cart, but I need a bigger one. Or I'll definitely invest in one of what I call an L cart, because it has your handle and it's a flat cart. That way my table won't fall off like it did. But I did have help, so we made 2 trips from the car to where my LLC was set up. If I'd have been by myself, it would have took 4 trips. So the first tip is get a nice size cart, especially if you have a lot of items. And I really didn't have a lot of items between what I was selling and then how I was setting up. I had 2 6-foot tables. One was the one that I bought, also from Temu. Great quality, just like the cart, great quality. It's a 6-foot table. And the Friday before the market, I realized I don't think I have enough space. I don't have enough table room. A 9-foot table, and it's what I work with at work. So I'm like, yeah. So I borrowed another one. So I had 2 6-foot tables. 6-foot tables. Please don't correct my grammar. I'm a grammar nut, but I'm just saying this on the fly. So tables fell off the cart. No big deal. Learning experience. I had 2 tables. I used the stretchable table covers, also from Temu. They were perfect. They were beautiful. If you go to my Instagram or my Facebook, and I'm going to post pictures on my website as well, on my Shopify, you'll see the setup of how I did that. Now, I didn't have any fancy shelves. I'm in the process of making one for my bonnets. I make bonnets. But I realized and decided, and this is the coolest thing, that I'm going to hand make everything. So everything that I had on my table as far as display was something handmade. So this is going to be what I learned. Not what I did wrong, because I didn't do anything wrong. This was the first time. The table covers, they didn't need anything to hold them onto the tables, but I did use fabric, actually tulle, to decorate my tables with, and to connect it to the table. I used these clips that I bought from Party City when they were closing. So I bought these. Not really sure what I would be using them for. And they worked fine. as far as like clipping the tool onto the table, but 2 of them broke. And the reason I'm showing you this is expect some of your stuff to break. One of them broke as I was trying to get it out of the package. It's these flower claw clips. And it broke as I was trying to get it out of the package. What it's supposed to do, this is another one that broke. But what it's supposed to do is kind of like a clip for your hair. You can use it for your hair, but this was for parties or whatever setups. And so it has jaws. This one broke, one of the petals fell off, so it was still usable. But have backup, definitely have backup, or another way to do stuff like that. Of course, definitely have snacks, my tiny bananas, because depending on how long you're going to be there, definitely water, but not too much. How long you're going to be there, you'll probably get hungry for a little bit of snacks. If you're alone, you might not be able to go to the bathroom at all. But the young lady next to us, we watched her table while she went to the bathroom, because on the second day her fiance wasn't there. As far as payment, I got $100 in change, so I had a whole bunch of ones, a whole bunch of fives, 10s, and a couple 20s. Yeah, I'd have to say like half of the people that bought stuff from me paid cash, and the other half used a credit card. And so you can do Cash App, PayPal, Venmo as a backup. I would only use those as a backup, but primarily I ended up using my Square that attaches to, I was like, how am I going to show them? My phone's right here, but this is my business phone. It attaches to your phone, and you're able to swipe with the Square. I think some people don't like these things, but they were a lifesaver, and it worked great, because at the end of the day, the next day, when I transferred the money from Square to my bank account, it was super easy. It was oh, I got this free. You could probably go to square.com or something like that. Somebody else told me about this, but you are able, once you get your business, you're able to get a Square. Somebody else probably knows a whole lot more and better than I do. There's other equipment that Square offers, but this was free. And it's a swipe. Super, super easy. Plug it into your iPhone. You couldn't plug this into my Samsung that I'm using right here. Now, the reason why I had to depend on my Square, which was fine, the reason why I had to depend on my Square was because I also, from Shopify, now remember I have a website, my shop site is on Shopify. Shopify also gives you a device for free, and they give you this little doohickey. It's tap and it's chip, okay? But guess what? The first day of the vendor market, I handed it to my daughter, who helped me. Thank you. And I handed her this still in the box. And I said, hey, will you set this up for me? And so she had it, and she took it out and everything, and she said, Mom, did you charge it? And I was like, no. The only thing I did was open the box once it had arrived, and I took a selfie with it. Oh, there's the air. Took a selfie with it, and I put it back in the box. So charge up all the way. You may not have electricity at the vendor market that you're doing, or the place that you are setting up your tent or tables. So definitely have, I would say, no less than 2 devices that you can do credit card or debit card payments. People really appreciate that. I think with the tap, people probably would have liked that better because it's not attached to my phone. Some people are kind of hinky about that. Or to my tablet, because I have a tablet which is for my business, wholeheartedly. Alright, so we got in there, and I realized I needed a bigger cart. And I covered the 2-table thing. I can't think of anything else. And there was some other things. Oh, definitely have you a marker or 2 or 3. Because what happened was I had planned on making my own banner for my LLC, but I ran out of time, so I didn't have time to do it, which was kind of messed up. But I used this, I just popped myself in the eye. I used this handmade with heart circle wood sign that I made a couple years ago, just to kind of get started with this. So I used that, and that worked fine. But I had planned on making my own banner between using my Cricut and fabric that I had. Didn't get to it, so I brought this huge, I think 16 by 20 canvas that still had the plastic on it, and I ended up writing my Shopify on there, my social media on there, and the business name and stuff like that. It was cute. I was not bummed out about it. To me, it didn't look good, ghetto. It was fine. But have a marker. Also, I used the marker to make the signs, the little tents that had my prices on them. So I did that the night before. That was already done. Have your prices already done the night before, because you'll probably be a nervous wreck trying to get everything set up for your first market. You don't want to be sitting there, oh my gosh, what am I selling? This and other, messing up and stuff, because you really want to focus on getting it set up. Because I didn't do the VIP vendor, I did the general vendor. And so the market started the first day at 10 o'clock. So we were allowed, the VIP vendors got there at 7:30. They had first pick of their vendor space if that's not already assigned. And then 8 o'clock was when the general vendors, was able to go in there and grab a spot. There was only 20 vendors there. Wasn't a whole lot or a big turnout, so I actually got a good spot. But so I had an hour and 50 minutes. We had an hour and 50 minutes to have our table set up. And it's kind of a race, but it's not. But if you've done this before, if you do know how you're gonna set up everything, then you're good. But me, going in fresh, I didn't know how I was gonna set up the tables. I didn't know how I was gonna set up the displays and stuff. So especially for your first one, get there on time, if not a little bit early, and then have everything ready, like your signs, your prices set up, including charging your equipment, all of your devices, your cell phones, your tablets, everything needs to be ready to go when you get there, because you don't want to be freaking out and be like, oh my gosh, I forgot this, or oh, I didn't think about this, or your setup might take a little bit of time. So next thing was, the first day was 10 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. Remember that I said that the general vendors were allowed to go in at 8 o'clock, and so we were there for 12 hours from start to finish. Some of them, we were required to have our tables, our space completely set up 10 minutes before go time, and then the mall closed at 8, so it was like we were able to leave our stuff there if we wanted. I took home my bonnet, stuff that I made. Not that I thought somebody was going to steal it, but I was able to bring a sheet or a large piece of fabric per table, because we were able to leave the stuff there overnight because it was a 2-day market, and so the sheet covered up our stuff, our display. So bring 2 sheets or large pieces of fabric, or 1 sheet per table. Our neighbor, now I didn't know this at all, so our neighbor, her fiance had bought 2 sheets from a thrift store, so they're just a couple dollars, and he gave us one of them because they only had 1 table. So definitely make a checklist of all this stuff. All these Bamanettes is working my nerve. I'm not sure if I brought any towels were paper towels to clean up any kind of spills or messes. I didn't have any messes, but my neighbor did. Her vase with her flowers in it fell off the table and broke, so there was water on the floor. She ended up using her sheet to soak up the water. So for accidents and spills, do have some type of trash bag. When you get your rules, when you get your instructions and stuff from the market manager or the host, they'll give you a list of do's and don'ts, and they had on the list to have your own like trash bag or trash can, because it's not always provided. We were at the mall, there was big trash cans, but me and my daughter would just put any trash that we had, food trash or drink trash, in one of the plastic t-shirt bags that I had. They really want you to store your boxes and totes and equipment and inventory overflow underneath your table so it's out of sight. With the market that I did, they weren't real strict with that, but it was nicer anyway. Oh, okay. So chairs. I got a $10 chair from Walmart. One of the like tailgating chairs, or chairs when you go out to games where you can fold it up and pack it on your back. My daughter, I got her a $20 chair from Sam's, because she's taller than me, and yeah. That didn't work. Well, it was perfect. It held me up, which is what it's supposed to do. But I'm the type of person that I have to be standing up. Every time somebody passed by my table, whether they were approaching it or not, I got up so I could be kind of face to face with them instead of them talking down to me at my chair. The chair was pretty low, and at the same time, I'm overweight, so the chair could hold me up, my weight. That was fine. It wasn't a problem. But I got thighs. I'm black. I got hips. And the metal parts of the chair, it wasn't digging into my thighs or anything like that, but my thighs were resting on it. So the first night I came home and laid down, so tired after 13 hours. Please get sleep the night before. And I was rubbing my thighs, and I was like, why is it sore? Why is it kind of tender? And the next day when I sat in the chair, I figured out why. So 2 things with those chairs. Make sure you have a super comfortable chair. My neighbor, the lady that was the vendor next to me, I noticed the first day that she had a life jacket, a life vest. And I was like, what in the world? Why did they have that? And the second day I noticed that she had that in her chair. So when her small self sat in her foldable chair, portable chair, the life vest was cushioning the sides of her thighs and stuff. So definitely make sure you have a very comfortable chair. Make sure you have shoes that are supportive. I had on my black flats, kind of like what I wear to church, and even though I wasn't on my feet the whole time, it was no support. There was not really no sole there, and so it bothered me. I had planned on taking off my shoes because I like to get comfortable, but I didn't. But I wish I would have had on some of my sneakers, or if you call them tennis shoes like I used to, something with sole on them. But I saw another vendor down the way that she had a taller chair. It was kind of like the portable one that I had, better construction. It didn't have that metal that might have been digging in your body, but it was a lot taller, kind of like the director chairs. I feel like that would have been better. I'm gonna invest in one of those, do some homework on the chairs. That way I could be sitting higher up, and I don't have to get up from a seated position so much. I did need the exercise though. So the chairs, the table, the totes that I had my products in. I do bonnets, I sew pillows, these things, head covers, and under caps like Muslim women wear. I wear them under my veil daily, and so those kinds of things, I had them in the tote. Everything that was finished that I was going to display in a tote. So you have your regular totes that have the lid, and then you have the totes that have the lids that interlock, and you open them like this and they stay attached to the totes. Those are perfect. I have two of them, but I used one with the lids that flipped to the sides because they, flip and they just at the side. And basically what I'm trying to say is you don't have a lid that's on top that you have to take off and place somewhere and it's in the way, or put on the floor. Put something on top. It works. It really does work, having the tote with the lid that you take off. But I noticed and decided that the totes, and especially because the totes with the flip lid are usually get the ones that are clear so you can see what's in them. Speaking of, I only had 2 totes with stuff that I made, that I was selling, because the things that I make is kind of small, and so they fit in 2 totes. I had one with the flip lids and I had one with the takeoff lid. Mine was pretty much organized. I had 2 wood crates that I used as displays, so I used them to put my display equipment in, like my mannequin heads and where was I going with that? I had 2 crates, I had 2 totes, and that was pretty much what I needed. I had my reusable Goodwill bag, and that had stuff that was super important. So my business paperwork, my LLC paperwork, I had that in it. Everything that was important to me was in one bag, and it went on my person so I could just pick it up. All of my business paperwork, my licenses, my receipts, my IRS stuff, my mail, everything I have in this container that I got from, what do you call it, Five Below. I got this from Five Below, and has all my paperwork, my licenses, and everything in there, and I put that in that bag. What I'm getting at with that comment as far as having stuff organized, I was pretty organized with my things, but I did end up digging through totes, digging through this, looking for this, looking for that. And I had a box of t-shirt bags. You can get a box of t-shirt bags if you don't mind using plastic at Sam's for $20. I believe it's 1,000 t-shirt bags. They have different sizes. Make sure you're getting the right size, but you get a lot of bags. And they have the white ones with thank you on them, and they have the black ones. Like I said, pay attention to the side because it might be too small for what you want. Don't be afraid to use things that just don't make sense. I have these 2 bags. Oh, I see one from Food City. We had a Food City that opened here where I live, and I'll never go back to Food City, but those 2 reusable blue bags were perfect. I ended up using these 2 styrofoam cushions for when I ordered my tent from Temu. There was one on both ends, and I used those as displays. Flipped them over, put cloth on them, and those were used too. Don't be afraid to get creative with what you display stuff with. I got quite a bit of stuff from thrift stores. I work at a thrift store, so that I can't shop at, and that's fine, but don't be afraid to use stuff from thrift stores. Keep going every week if you can't find whatever you're looking for. I really can't think of anything else at the moment. But if you have any more questions, this was my first vendor market. Vendor market is aka craft show. Didn't do a whole lot in sales. I had like $1,200 worth of merchandise maybe when I counted, but I did make somewhere around $100. That's $100 I didn't have, but like I said, it was a learning experience for me. I also did another video earlier as far as what God revealed to me, as far as what He wanted me to pay attention to and learn. I might put that one up there. I don't remember how long it is, but nice to meet you. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, I'll try to post some more videos on there as I go along with this. I'm not sure where we're going with this LLC. If I do more markets, I did like it, so they probably will do more and throw out some questions, and hopefully I can answer. If anybody has a better way to get rid of Bamanats, let me know.